Something massive is happening in the digital world. It's this fundamental rewiring where the whole game is shifting. It's not just about creating content anymore, it's about building real, actual capital. This is the story of how the creator is becoming the CEO.
Okay, let's just get this out of the way right up front. The whole idea of the influencer, at least as we've known it for the last 10 years, it's over. It's becoming obsolete. And what's taking its place is something way more solid, more structured, and honestly, a lot more powerful.
So, what does this new world actually look like? Well, think about this number for a second. At a recent summit in Dubai, the people in the room had a combined reach of over 3.5 billion. But here's the twist. The big conversation wasn't about how many followers they had. Nope. It was about building companies, setting up governance, and creating long-term economic value. The game has totally changed.
And that really brings us to the core of it all. If you want to understand what's happening right now, you have to look past the surface-level stuff, the likes, the shares, all the vanity metrics. It's time to peel back the curtain and see the real economy that's being built underneath all of it.
For years, we all knew how the old system worked, right? It was all about visibility. You get a ton of followers, a brand comes along with a sponsorship deal, you get paid. The whole thing was basically transactional, completely at the mercy of platform algorithms. It was a race to be seen.
But that model forces you to ask a really important question. Is that truly enough? Can you actually build a stable, long-term future on a foundation that's all about fleeting attention and one-off brand deals? Well, the industry is waking up and realizing the answer is a pretty clear no.
And this is where you start to see the real limits of just having influence. That old model, the one built entirely on that idea, has some serious cracks in its foundation. Flaws that creators, investors, and even entire governments just can't afford to ignore anymore.
This comparison right here says it all. The whole mindset is shifting from visibility to ownership. The business model is evolving from just doing sponsorships to actually building an enterprise. And the end result? Well, you're trading that insane, unpredictable volatility for the chance to build real, lasting stability.
So let's talk about those cracks in the foundation. First up, you've got platform dependency. An algorithm changes overnight and poof, your entire business can get wiped out. Then there's the unstable revenue that's tied to those campaigns that come and go. But maybe the biggest one is limited asset ownership. You don't actually own your audience, you're just renting it from the platforms. Put all that together, and trying to do any kind of long-term planning becomes an absolute nightmare.
But in response to all these problems, a totally new model is starting to take shape. And right now, Dubai is offering this fascinating blueprint for what the future could look like. It's this very deliberate, top-down strategy to professionalize the entire creator space. Their whole approach is really built on three main pillars. First, you've got governance, which is all about creating clear rules and legitimacy. Second is capital, injecting serious money into the ecosystem to show it's a real market. And third, technology, which provides the actual infrastructure creators need to build and scale their businesses.
Okay, so let's get into the how. How do you actually build this new infrastructure? Because it's not just about having good ideas, right? It's about creating real, tangible programs and institutions that can support this new class of creator entrepreneurs.
It starts with something like Creators HQ. And look, this isn't just another networking club. This is a government-backed entity, and its whole focus is on formalization. By making things like an advertiser permit a requirement, it brings a whole new level of transparency and accountabilities to the market. All of a sudden, a creator isn't just a popular person online. They are a licensed, legitimate business. And that is what attracts serious partners and investors.
And speaking of investors, we're not talking about symbolic gestures here. The Creators Ventures Accelerator has put up 50 million dirhams in funding. That is a massive signal to the financial markets that this is a serious economic initiative. They're expecting real outcomes, new companies, revenue growth, and actual job creation.
This quote really just nails the entire shift in thinking. The goal is to position creators as founder candidates, not just marketing channels. It completely reframes how we see them. Not as billboards, but as the potential leaders of brand new ventures building entire companies from the ground up.
And the last piece of this puzzle is technology, especially AI, which is now being treated as a core piece of the production infrastructure. You can see it at scale with things like the Google Gemini AI Film Award and its $1 million prize. AI tools are just crushing the cost of high-quality production, which democratizes the whole process and lets small, creative teams compete with massive studios.
So, when you take these three pillars, governance, capital, and technology, and you combine them, what you get is this profound transformation. You get the end of the influencer as we knew it and the birth of a brand new archetype,
the creator's CEO.
Let's just pause on that for a second. The influencer is dead. Long live the CEO. This is really the headline for this entire shift. Having digital reach isn't the end goal anymore. It's just the starting point for building a real, structured, and scalable business.
And this new role, well, it comes with a completely new job description. We're not talking about just making content anymore. We're talking about actual company building, financial governance, understanding intellectual property, and navigating all the regulatory compliance. I mean, these are the skills of a modern chief executive.
So that leaves us with a pretty exciting question, because this is really just the beginning. This whole shift from content to capital is one of the biggest economic stories happening right now. It just makes you wonder, if the people who are best at building audiences and communities are now becoming CEOs, what kind of companies are they going to build next? And how is that going to reshape everything?